What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to recap this Red Sox and Astros American League Championship Series that just concluded last night. So, in Game 1, to start this ALCS from Houston, it would be Chris Sale for the Red Sox against Astros left-handed pitcher Framber Valdez. They both would take the hill in Game 1. To start Game 1, in the first, it was a 24-year-old Yordan Alvarez who hit a sac fly to left field. This would score Jose Altuve from first base to make the game 1-0 Astros. Then, in the Sox half of the third, the red-hot Kike Hernandez would drive in the tying run thanks to a solo home run to left. It was a 1-1 tie after the Hernandez blast. Then a few batters later, J.D. Martinez would put a ball in play to the second baseman Jose Altuve, and Altuve would boot the ball and let it roll through his legs and trickle into center field. This error would allow Martinez to reach base and allow Bogaerts to score from second base, making the game 2-1 Boston. Finally, just a batter later, Renfroe hit an RBI double to left field. This scored Devers to extend the Sox lead 3-1. Moving on to the sixth, Houston would tie things up at 3 via a Jose Altuve 2-run shot to left center field. An inning later, in the seventh, the Astros would eventually take the lead thanks to a Carlos Correa absolute nuke to left field. And let me tell you, that was one hell of a pimp job by Correa. That was great. It was 4-3 Astros after the Correa swing. Then in the Astros half of the eighth, Altuve would hit a sac fly to center field. With the bases loaded, Gurriel scored to make it 5-3 Astros after 8 full innings. Now, although the Sox would get a run closer in the ninth, thanks to another Kike home run, which made it 5-4 Astros. But Boston would fall to Houston by that score of 5-4 and take Game 1 of this American League Championship Series at home in Texas. Both starters for this Game 1, Sale and Valdez, would only last 2 2/3 innings. And both teams would need to use 8 total pitchers to get through Game 1 alone. So a bullpen game throughout, 2 solid starters to start Game 1, especially for Sale. I know he's coming off a Tommy John. However, you expected for him to go at least like 5. I mean, is that too much? But unfortunately, it did not work out for either side. So bullpens had to be called upon early. Now, for Game 2, it would be Nathan Eovaldi for the visitors and Luis Garcia for the hometown team. However, unfortunately, Garcia would not last long at all. This is because in the top of the first inning, the Sox would smack a 4 spot on the Astros thanks to a J.D. Martinez grand slam to right field to make it 4-0 Sox after just 1 inning. Then an inning later, in the top of the second, it would feel like deja vu all over again thanks to a Rafael Devers grand slam, which he hit to right field as well. This doubled the Sox lead 8-0. 2 innings later, in the Sox fourth, they would add another run via another Kike Hernandez solo shot to left. This homer made it 9-0 Boston. Now, despite this large lead by Boston, the Astros would try to claw their way back. First, in the fourth, Kyle Tucker would drive in a run from second base via an RBI double to left. This made it 9-1 Boston. Then, a few batters later, Gurriel would drive in Kyle Tucker and Carlos Correa from third and second, respectively, to make the game 9-3 Boston. Moving on to the bottom of the ninth now, the Astros would try to make use of their final hacks. First, Gurriel would hit a solo home run to left field to make the game 9-4 Boston. And just 2 batters later, Jason Castro would hit a pinch hit home run to center field to make it 9-5 Sox. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, that Castro home run would be the final run the Astros would score in this game too, and they would lose this game to 9-5 to the Red Sox in the end. Now the Red Sox starter, Eovaldi, would go 5 full innings, while the Astros starter, Garcia, would barely get out of the first inning in Game 2. Alright, for Game 3 from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, it would be Jose Urquidy for the Astros against Eduardo Rodriguez for the hometown Red Sox. Now the scoring would start in the bottom of the second via a Christian Vasquez RBI base hit to right. This scored Verdugo to make it 1-0 Sox. The second Sox run also came in that second inning, and this was due to another Altuve fielding error. This error occurred due to a ball that came off the bat of Christian Arroyo. The error by Altuve allowed Arroyo to reach first base safely and JD Martinez to score from third base to make it 2-0 Sox. Then a few batters later, Kyle Schwarber would blow this game wide open after he hit a grand slam to right field off the Astros starter Urquidy. The Schwarber slam made it 6-0 Boston. Then an inning later, in the third, Boston would tack on some more runs. First, Vasquez hit a single to left field that drove in Renfroe. Then, a batter later, Arroyo hit a 2-run home run to left field. This made it 9-0 Sox after 3 full innings. But in the fourth, the Astros would get a run back thanks to a Kyle Tucker solo home run to right. This made it 9-3 Boston. But the Sox would respond in the bottom half of the sixth as JD Martinez hit a 2-run shot to right field to extend the Sox lead by 8 runs. It was 11-3 Boston. Then in the bottom of the eighth, the Sox would add one more insurance run via a Devers solo home run to center field. This made it 12-3 Boston. And that's how things would end in Game 3. The Sox would beat the Astros by that score of 12-3 and take a 2-1 series lead. The Astros' Urquidy only lasted 1 2/3, while the Sox starter Rodriguez went 6 full innings. In Game 4, it was Zack Greinke for Houston against Nick Pivetta for Boston from Fenway. The scoring started early in the top of the first as Alex Bregman would put the Astros up 1-0 with a solo home run to left field. However, the Sox would respond in the bottom half with 2 runs of their own, thanks to a Bogaerts 2-run shot to center field to put the Sox up 2-1. The next scoring opportunity would not come until the Astros' 8th, when Jose Altuve hit a solo home run to tie things up at 2. An inning later, in the top of the 9th, was when the Astros blew this game wide open. First, Jason Castro would hit an RBI single to center, which drove in Correa, making it 3-2 Houston. Next, Brantley hit a 2-run RBI double to right. Castro and Altuve scored to make it 6-2 Houston. Then Alvarez hit an RBI single to left. Brantley scored to make it 7-2 Houston. After Alvarez, Correa would hit a slow roller to third that was thrown away by Martin Perez at third base. This allowed Bogaerts to score to make it 8-2 Houston. Finally, Tucker hit a sharp ground ball that was mishandled by the second baseman Christian Arroyo. This allowed Tucker to reach and Alvarez to score to make the game 9-2 Astros. And that's how this game would end. The Astros would beat the Red Sox 9-2 and tie the series at 2 games apiece. The Astros starter Greinke would only last 1 1/3, which is ridiculous, while Pivetta went 5 full innings. Alright, moving on, Game 5 featured Framber Valdez for Houston against Chris Sale for Boston. Now Alvarez would jump on Sale in the second as he hit a home run to left over the Green Monster. This gave the Astros the 1-0 lead. Then in the 6th, the Astros would hit the board again via another RBI off the bat of Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez would hit a double down the left field line. This scored both Altuve and Brantley, which made it 3-0 Astros. And 3 batters later, Gurriel would crack a line shot down the right side. This hit scored Alvarez to make it 4-0 Astros. And finally, just a batter later, Jose Suri hit a 2-run RBI single to right field. Tucker and Gurriel would both score on the play to make it 6-0 Astros. In the 7th, the Astros would score their 7th run of the game, ironically, via a Michael Brantley RBI single to center. Altuve would score as a result, which made it 7-0 Astros. Now the Red Sox would score their only run in this game in the 7th inning via a Devers solo home run. This made it 7-1 Houston. Then, in the top of the 9th, Houston would score their final 2 runs of this game via a Gurriel RBI single to center. Bregman and Correa would both score to make it 9-1 Astros. And that's how this game would end, because in the end, the Astros would prevail by that score of 9-1 in Game 5 and take a 3-2 series lead. Valdez would go 8 strong for the Astros, and Sale would go 5 1/3 for Boston. Alrighty, moving on to game number 6. It would be a rematch of Game 2's starters. That, of course, included Nathan Eovaldi for the Red Sox and Luis Garcia for the Astros. So the scoring would start in the Astros half of the first inning as Yordan Alvarez hit a fly ball to center field. The center fielder Hernandez actually overran the fly ball off the bat of Alvarez, and it hit off the heel of his glove, as you can see here. And this was an error, and it resulted in Alex Bregman scoring from first base on the play to make the game 1-0 Astros. Houston's second run would come in the 6th as Kyle Tucker grounded into an unassisted double play at first base that was made by Schwarber. But unfortunately for the Red Sox, Alvarez, who was on third, was able to score to make the game 2-0 Houston. Then in the bottom of the 8th inning, Kyle Tucker would come through again for his squad, this time in a more traditional sense, because Tucker would hit a 3-run home run to left field the other way. And this home run made it 5-0 Astros in Game 6. And that's all she wrote for Game 6, because a fat lady, she decided to sing. Nathan Eovaldi would pitch 4 1/3 for Boston, and Luis Garcia would last 5 2/3 for Houston. So again, the Astros would defeat the Red Sox in Game 6 and end up winning the American League pennant for the 3rd time in the past 5 years. And with that, I will regrettably say congratulations to the Houston Asterisks. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on the road to 1K. And as always, I'll catch you guys later.